today we'll figure out where the very last few missions of GTA 5 would go if Michael died in Meltdown. So let's say that Jimmy just stayed hidden and never saved Michael. This means that the Merryweather goon would just shoot Michael point blank in the head, and then Tracy and Amanda would share the same fate. Jimmy would go on the run and contact Franklin about the whole thing, and he'd promise Jimmy that him and the others will take care of Devin Weston. The big one never happens, as without Michael they just wouldn't be able to pull it off. Instead, their plan would focus on dealing with Devin Weston, and for the next few weeks Jimmy would follow Devin and try to learn everything that he can about him in order to bring that information to Franklin and Trevor. And once he does, the two would plan a little bit of a different attack than the one in the original, because here for Devin specifically they would have a decent amount of time to, prep and plan shit and whatnot. So instead of going head on for him right at his house, they'd instead strike when he's on his way from his hangar to his house. Let's say that they'd have the least amount of security looking after him at this point. Trevor and Franklin would go for a drive-by to get rid of the guards. As for Devin Weston himself, I think they'd still send his ass off a cliff, let's be honest. But what about Jimmy? Well, I imagine that after everything he'd just sell the house and move somewhere else entirely after thanking Franklin and Trevor. Speaking of which, they still have some stuff to wrap up, and that's the issues with the triads, Stretch and Steve Haynes. However, in this one they didn't do the big ones, so they can't really set the feds up at the foundry. Instead, they'd have to take out their targets one by one, which would make that part with killing Steve a lot more difficult from a gameplay perspective. But ultimately Trevor goes for Steve and Stretch, and Franklin takes care of the triads. And to wrap things up, what about Solomon Richards? Well, he has no more assistant, but he can at least wrap up Meltdown without Devin Weston on his ass. This is probably the shortest what if that I have ever done, but this just goes to show how important Michael is, and that even with him dying as late as he did, a lot of things change. I mean, the crew's not rich, Michael's family's dead except for Jimmy who left town, but at least the bad guys are gone, am I right? But with that said, I want to thank you for watching this GTA 5 what if video. Leave your what if suggestions in the comments down below. Make sure that there's some really good ones, and if I like them enough, I'll do them. Until next video stream, bye bye.